you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. The rumors are true. I have officially become a Costco club member. What does that even mean? It means I'm becoming a woman. I'm adulting. Don't get me wrong, I love Trader Joe's, but I've been spending way too much money on my groceries, so it's time I start budgeting and getting some more bang for my buck. Today's video is gonna encompass two big topics. The first one is we're going to Costco with a $50 budget for a week of groceries. The second topic is I'm officially bulking. I'm going to be bulking for 4 months, but the catch is I'm doing a clean bulk this time. It's not gonna be a dirty bulk, so I am gonna be taking you guys along the journey, showing you guys the meals that I consume. After we go to Costco, I'm going to give you a full, oh my gosh, what's the freaking word? Food haul of everything that I got to kickstart this bulking journey together. Disclaimer, if you are not a fan of tracking macros, using MyFitnessPal, counting calories, or doing anything of that sort, this might not be the video for you, so just giving you guys a heads up. We're wasting valuable time. While I charge my car, I did create a list of protein, carbs, fat, and veggies that I want to stick to for the next 4 months. So now I'm going to decipher this and figure out exactly the type of meals that I want to make.
I think Moore is the guy that created, I think, Bell. And people are still going to university. People are still doing traditional jobs. Maybe fine, but 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, how are you going to be positioned? So in 2019, I was like, I need to build an AI-proof company. Yeah. There's plenty of kids out there, maybe raise some orphans.
Got my Costco card, took my photo. Look at my card. This is the thing, I don't need this much rice. Costco's tough because you have to buy everything in bulk here.
Scan 7 scanned items.
The damage. We did go over our budget. I spent $65, but here's the thing. I didn't really take into account that at Costco, you have to buy in bulk. But most of the things that I bought are made to last you a minimum of like 12 servings, which would be 12 days. What we want is to have like a compound interest. Anything we don't finish can then carry over into the next week. So when we go grocery shopping again, sometimes we may not even need to replenish those things that we bought in the beginning. So keep that in mind. If this seems very boring to you, that's okay. You can definitely spice it up in different ways that you want. But I'm the type of person that views food as fuel. We're gonna go through breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast protein source, we have some eggs. Lunch protein source, we have these chicken skewers. They're pre-cooked. And for dinner, our protein will be ground bison. It is 90% lean, 10% fat. The protein sources were the most expensive out of everything. There are cheaper versions and like frozen foods, but based on my needs and my goals, these proteins will be what I consume for the next 7 days. Moving on to the carb sources. For breakfast, I got some bananas, but keep in mind, when I talked about compound interest of buying certain foods that last you more than 7 days, they can carry on into the next week. I already have these, so if you want to purchase these for the first time, you might go over the $50 budget, but they're worth it. Sourdough bread, it's really good for digestion. It's one of the best breads for you alongside multigrain. Sourdough bread, peanut butter, and banana is a really good carb-heavy breakfast source, and then the eggs are just a great source of protein if I wanted to throw those in as well. I will say my biggest recommendation for peanut butter is to find a brand where the ingredients are only peanuts. At most, peanuts, salt, and oil. Our lunch and dinner carb source will be exactly the same. I got this white sticky rice. It has 12 servings in it. And then for my vegetables, I got bell peppers. And I also got some tomatoes. And then for my snacks, I got some strawberries. Then I got about a dozen apples. Apples and peanut butter is a really good snack. And that was everything. Why did I decide to bulk? Bulking is when you're in a calorie surplus, you're consuming more calories than you're burning. You have to lift a significant amount of weight to build muscle, but you also have to consume an extensive amount of calories to be able to build that muscle. My fitness goals right now are to build my glutes and my lower half. I'm going to be doing legs 2 times per week, 2 very intense, vigorous, heavy lifting leg days. One will be glute focused and one will be glute, hamstring, and quad focused. That's for my personal aesthetic goals. When you go into a bulk, you have to make sure that it's a minimum of 3 to 4 months. You have to allow yourself the time to gain the muscle muscle, to train, to recover, to fuel yourself. It's not gonna happen overnight. Nothing is gonna be a quick fix. It's going to be uncomfortable. Eating this amount of calories is not going to be easy. You kind of have to push yourself to the point of like feeling like you are gonna throw up almost. Like it's a lot of food that you have to consume, but it's the only way to truly put on muscle. Why do you want to gain this much muscle? You might be asking me. Once you gain this much muscle, as soon as you go into a cut or a calorie deficit, that's when you consume less calories than you burn. You'll be able to display all of the muscle that you worked so hard to build during your bulk. And I personally have a wedding coming up in less than a year, so I would like to put on some more muscle to then display that muscle when the wedding time does come around. How did I calculate my macros? The very first time I ever went into a bulk, I was training with my buddy Rave Suave. He has like his whole program and all that stuff, but on his website, the Good Fit app, the Good Fitness, one of the two, I'll link it below. He has a free macro calculator, and this is just what I used from the very beginning, and it's what has allowed me to have a successful bulk twice in the past. You just input your height, your weight, your age, your activity level, and what your goals are, and then it'll spit out all of the macros based on your specific body composition. Which leads me into my next point. When I share my macros with you guys, just know that this is specifically for me. This is not gonna help you achieve your goals. Once again, my macros are not going to give you the same goals that they give me. I'm 24 years old, I'm 5'7", I'm about 158 pounds, and my goal is to put on muscle and to bulk. I'm going to be consuming 2,370 calories per day, 158 grams of protein, 286 grams of carbs, and 66 grams of fat. Into my third point. What seems like a lot of numbers, don't overthink it. It's really not that difficult to translate it into food. I would recommend buying a food scale. You can get one of these on Amazon. I'll also link it below. They're like $10 if that. Food scale allows you to choose the units that you want. If you buy meat, for example, it'll tell you on the back the exact unit, and then it'll tell you how much like protein, carbs, fat, calories are in that specific amount of units. Into my fourth point. How do you log all of this, keep track of it, and what's the most efficient way to continue tracking your macros? I recommend using the app MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal will have your overall calories, protein, carbs, and fat per day, and as you log your food, it will deduct the macros from all those meals from the overall, letting you know how much you have left to complete that day. Every now and again, I'll throw in JP's meals so you guys can get a better understanding of what like a man eats versus a woman eats, because our macros are completely different because we have significantly different body compositions. All right, with that being said, let's make some lunch and wrap up this video. The entire thing, 500 calories, 42 grams of protein, 90 grams of carbs, and 6 grams of fat. That concludes today's video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, we do have 4 months of bulking to come. I will be posting my workouts and my meals. So if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.